launched. So that's why a focus on pipeline creation is an influence really is a product marketing and messaging, if you will, to go to market, to ensure that these campaigns are brought to life effectively. And then finally, I think this one's my personal favorite. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, but Meet the Playmaker. This is one of the hardest product marketing personas to come across, but it's a really critical one to have nonetheless. And similar to MJ, you can just give these product marketers the ball and just get the heck out of the way. Kind of balance each other out. Like maybe they're best in class in 2 to 3 of these areas, and in others they're still developing. But as a result, the other folks who sort of have those strengths that your other product marketers may not have, they all balance each other out really well, and it creates an environment where no one's skills are duplicative, and they can help up-level each other and take value stories from one side and really take those value stories and capabilities and run all the way through the end with them, which ultimately ends in revenue and adoption and satisfaction and a whole ton of joy for your teams. Up next, let's talk pillar number 2, which is enforcing a uniform and consistent GTM process for launches. And this is, of course, for the sake of keeping our go-to-market activities as unchaotic and ultimately as successful as possible. That's really important. And so along with hiring and building out the team, this was the very first thing that I implemented at G2 when I joined the org about 1.5 years ago. And so here's a look at our go-to-market playbook in really 5 easy stages. It's worked so well for us that we've actually taken it and published it on our learn.g2.com site. It's available to everyone, and I think it's been downloaded over 500 times, which is amazing to see. But these stages encompass 5 key steps. Let's start with ideation. Step 1. This is where product believes they've identified a solution or a problem in the market that can be solved with a technology solution. When we've accepted that we're going to move forward with that, and it's a good idea, we enter phase 2, which is build. This is where product has officially put this new capability on their roadmap. And in parallel, we've put it on our go-to-market roadmap as well. Product marketing is now working on messaging, on naming, where it sits in the product hierarchy, planning out beta groups, all while getting the go-to-market plan for this thing built. We then enter stage 3, which is soft launch or beta. There are a couple different names for it that I've seen in past lives, but basically what we do here is we work with a select group of customers to ensure that both functionality, like does it work the way it's supposed to, along with messaging, are we talking about it in a way that makes sense and resonates? We make sure that both of these things are aligned with market needs and expectations before we move into stage 4, which is go-to-market launch. And I think if you were to have a blind test of what most people associate with a product launch happening, it's probably stage 4, right? The keys are in the ignition, landing pages and press releases and emails are all out. Like we're now moving on this launch. We've enabled sales, all of that good stuff in stage 4. But it's really when we get to stage 5 where a lot of the real work begins, because now that we've entered go-to-market continued, this thing's up in space, but we need to start building an ecosystem of content and best practices and prescriptive playbooks for how to use this stuff, all to ensure that this capability is actually adopted and successfully used once it's been launched into the world. Up next, I think that this is a really important yet overlooked piece of our go-to-market process that I wanted to take a little bit of time today to call out. And it's the way that we at G2 produce and then refine our go-to-market messaging. So it all starts with a message house. So including the very real one that you see here, up on the screen. And we at G2 build one of these for every single product, feature, integration, M&A, big and small, no matter what it is. There's always this sort of one doc Bible, if you will, that's going to help us define a number of things. For starters, what the heck is it? What is this capability? Who is it for? Where is it going to sit within our product hierarchy? How are we going to launch it tactically? And what's the value? And what we do in this doc is we also add in any sort of relevant data points, research that we can find on personas, and taglines that can ultimately help with direct response on those resources. This is something that I always want our product marketers getting into the habit of thinking of, which is, well, what is that message within this message house, if you will, that's going to get people to convert on whatever this story is that I'm launching in market. And so that message house is then actually taken and delivered to our creative and our copywriting team. And so what they do is they go through their own process of picking out the key points for our landing pages and in our emails, if you will, to ensure that they actually convert. This is what they think about all the live long day. And so in order for messaging, your go-to-market messaging, to truly be successful, I would argue that you actually can't have one without the other. It's got to start with us as product marketers, in that the foundation needs to be built, the blueprint for whatever this thing is going to be within your message house, which is then handed over to copy so they can focus all of their energy on turning it into resources and messaging that is absolutely primed to convert. And so I always, when I get to this section, I like to give a shout out to our own head of copy at G2. His name is Eddie, and without his skills and brilliance and his collaboration, our campaigns just would not be as successful as they've been. And then finally, tactical launch management. This is also something that I think gets overlooked as well, because we're all just moving so fast. But for some perspective, at G2, we use Asana. It's truly in its own way planning. You can tag folks cross-functionally, and it provides total visibility on what the go-to-market project. And it's just great. I mean, we manage every of that 5-step process that you just saw all through Asana, and I couldn't recommend it more. And finally, let's talk about end-to-end business outcome tracking, because one of the most important pieces of our success in product marketing is actually making sure that we can report on it and measure it. And so let's consider living at the intersection and what that means in terms of supporting product, marketing, and sales. It's really hard to live at the intersection unless you're reporting success metrics from it. And this has, I think, often been a very gray area. And depending on the company you go to and the needs and the problems they're facing, the reports and the success metrics from product marketing can honestly be totally different. But at G2, we've tried to take a really comprehensive approach to the way that we measure our impact. And so we follow all of our programs religiously from end to end. And so this is going to include at the very top, top of funnel submissions and leads. And it spans into every opportunity across every stage of the life cycle that's been influenced by a program, by one of our touch points that we've launched. We then follow that again all the way through closed won, quite literally money in the bank from all of those deals that we've influenced and touched, and then all the way through to product adoption, which is, I think, something that a lot of companies do sometimes. They tend to stop at closed won, and as a result, we don't necessarily check to make sure these products are being utilized or how satisfied customers are. And so we track that all the way through to product adoption to make sure that those products are being used, they're being operationalized, and driving results for our customers. And then finally, we follow that one step further to customer renewals to ensure that those opportunities, which then turned into closed won, which then turned into products that have been adopted, are contributing to the long-term and recurring success of G2, the lifetime value of our customers, if you will. And you know what's really nice about this approach is that when it's done right, all of your stakeholders that you're working with as a product marketer come away really happy. Let's see, marketing is they're hitting their quotas and they're feeling really good about things too. And then product is going to be really happy because the things that they're building are being customers who are using products successfully and who are renewing at higher clips.
We've got something right up your street from the innovative insights and an opportunity to unravel tricks of the trade from true masters of the nothing. Innovate at Product Marketing. Wrap up the bonus material. Whatever your preference, cast conventional approaches, diverse product marketing topics. It's all waiting for you at Product Marketing Off-Piste. See you on the slopes.
All 3 points of that pyramid, product marketing and sales, are going to have skin in the game in order to ensure a successful go-to-market event. And then finally, number 3, you're not truly living at the intersection unless you're reporting from it.
Ready to end this year on a high?
Please be sure
then
that
join
all 3
us and
points of those
indulge in
pyramid
3 days of product marketing
you as a product
innovation,
marketer can feel
all from
really
the
good about
comfort
the
of
impact that you're driving across your organization. All right, and that's what I've got as far as how we've built our go-to-market team at G2 and sort of the pieces and components that went into that. And so in the 5 minutes that we have left in this session, I wanted to take a look. I see some comments popping in here to see if there are some questions I can answer. So let's see. We can start at the top here. All right. So
we've got something right up your street. From December 8th through 10th, join the Product Marketing Alliance for Product Marketing Off-Piste. Our upcoming virtual event featuring...
That's a great question. And my team today is me and 3 other product marketers. But when I started, it was just me and a product marketing specialist. And so we kind of had to start from scratch.
Innovative insights and unwrap the views of an ensemble of product marketing experts for what promises to be the hottest product marketing event this winter. With universally recognized companies such as Amazon, Uber, PayPal and IBM among the special guests making an appearance, Product Marketing Off-Piste is your opportunity to unravel tricks of the trade from true masters of the craft, whether you're B2B, B2C, physical or SaaS. Plus, if you're a PMA member, you can join the spectacle for nothing and enjoy extra exclusive content at our après ski stage. Don't have a membership? Not to worry, simply head to innovate@productmarketingalliance.com to secure your spot. And if you want to treat yourself, then there's time to invest in a PMA membership and tap up the bonus material. Whatever your preference, cast conventional approaches aside, embrace innovation and end the year with aplomb with 40+ speakers, 30 hours of content and diverse product marketing topics. It's all waiting for you at Product Marketing Off-Piste. See you on the slopes.
Too. It's been amazing to watch. Let's see, we've got a question from Tanya. While balancing is important, what are the core skills you would say are a must for a product marketing team? Yeah, that's a good question. I think there are 5 core skills, and some of them are in here, but like at a baseline, in order to be a successful product marketer, for starters, you need to be a strong writer. So much of your job is going to be uncovering whatever that hook or that story is within the value story that you're trying to build. 2, you need to be a strong storyteller and an in-person trainer regardless. Even if it's a muscle that we're not always comfortable flexing, I think a lot of the success of our GTM activities are going to live and die with our ability to inspire confidence from the sales team.
Ready to end this year on a high? Then join us and indulge in 3 days of product marketing.
You need a natural curiosity or inkling for how platforms work and how they integrate with each other. You have to be naturally interested in how technology works, along with how product roadmaps work as well. So you could really have a seat at the table when you're working with product
innovation,
managers.
All from the comfort of your home. We've got something right up your street. From December 8th through 10th, join the product
automation tools very well. Understanding titles, understanding segments, so that even off the top of your head, you can rip off sort of segments and approaches for campaigns. I think the last one is understanding how a sales cycle works at a company. And again, these are things that are learned, but natural curiosity within product marketing and sales, along with really strong skills as far as being a writer and a core presenter, are going to bode well for anyone. And I think a lot of that is just gleaned from being a naturally curious person. The best product marketers I've seen don't necessarily come from product marketing. They come from sales or from CS. They spent time on the front lines. I came from CS myself. And every member of my product marketing team has come from either a customer success or from a sales role and transitioned in. And so having that exposure on the front lines as well bodes really well for product marketers. It's actually sort of an unwritten rule when I'm looking to build teams. I always look for people from non-traditional backgrounds who haven't spent their whole career in product marketing.
thank you for everyone.
Whether you're joining us for the
tuning
first
in.
time
Thank you for
or
such
you're
good
back for more
questions.
specialist insights, welcome to Product Marketing
And
Off
Yoni,
Piste.
do you have any sort of
Before we
final
begin,
remarks?
we want to say a thank you to our sponsors and partners
No,
for helping
it's been
us
such a
bring
pleasure.
this awesome event
For
to
all
life.
of you who were able to
We're
join me
sure
today,
you'll
thank you
enjoy
so
it.
much. And I try
And
to
if
be
you're
pretty
on the
active
lookout for
LinkedIn
more
within the PMA
resources, our
community,
Slack
and I'm
community
always
is
around on a
home to
Friday
a bunch
afternoon
of
to talk
contributions
go-to-market
from
blueprints and
thousands and
strategies
thousands
and sort
of
connect
fellow
with,
product
with other
marketers.
like-minded product marketers.
So
So
if you're
please
not already a
find me.
member,
Let's grab 30
join the
minutes to catch
debate.
up, and I would
But
love
for
to hear
now,
your questions
enjoy the
and see
presentation.
how I can help and see how you can
Great.
help me
Cheers,
too.
Yoni. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Ready to end this year on a high? Then join us and indulge in 3 days of product marketing innovation, all from the comfort of your home. We've got something right up your street. From December 8th through 10th, join the Product Marketing Alliance for Product Marketing Off Piste, our upcoming virtual event featuring a host of innovative insights and unwrap the views of an ensemble of product marketing experts for what promises to be the hottest product marketing event this winter,
and succeed in
with
their role.
universally recognized companies such as Amazon, Uber, PayPal and IBM among the special guests making an appearance. Product Marketing Off Piste is your opportunity to unravel tricks of the trade from true masters of the craft, whether you're B2B, B2C, physical or SaaS. Plus, if you're a PMA member, you can join the spectacle for nothing and enjoy extra exclusive content at our après-ski stage
Across the world. And every single day, tons of product marketing specific conversations go down. In the words of one of our members, Madeline Turner, the community hasn't just been an absolute wealth of knowledge and answers, it's the place for constant inspiration. With a PMA membership plan, everything a product marketeer could possibly need is all in there, all in one place. Whether you want to grab a template to start using right away, learn about how to become more strategic from product marketeers who've mastered it, sit back and watch hundreds of hours of presentations from some of the world's most trusted brands. Our packages have got it all and more. We really are
pricing. I'm the Director of Product Marketing at Ibotta, and you can find some more things from me at kevinzentmeyer.com. A lot more fun in my career than crunching numbers and valuing assets. So never looking back there. So goals for this talk are to demystify pricing because I think there's a lot that people sort of get overwhelmed with and think it's a bit too technical
Not to
for
worry,
them. I'll show
simply
you that
head
it's
to
not.
innovate at productmarketingalliance.com
I'll show you where the banana
to
peels
secure
are.
your spot.
So
and
for
if you
any,
want to treat
Mario
yourself,
Kart
then there's
fans,
time to
there's
invest in a
one
PMA
for you.
membership and tap
And
up
I
the
want to give
bonus
you a
material.
playbook so
Whatever
that
your
you can sort of
preference,
take this
cast
on
convention.
and have a method, at least one of them, to sort of pursue pricing and owning that space within your company.
Approaches aside, embrace innovation and end the year with a plum with 40 plus speakers, 30 hours of content and diverse product marketing topics. It's all waiting for you at Product Marketing Off Piste. See you on the slopes.
and discounting. So stakeholder alignment, that's the hard part. We're going to sort of eat the frog and start with the hardest part here, and then take it from there. The reason why it's so important and why you have to start here is without alignment, you will make no progress in making pricing changes. They will get rejected by sales. They'll continue selling or using their old sheet and get approval for it. Finance will throw up on whatever you've come up with. You won't get anything done if you don't start here. So who owns pricing? It's a multiple choice question. Is it finance, sales, product, marketing, the executive team? All the above? All the above, so really none of the above? Or seriously, nobody does. It just kind of happened and no one's really aware of what's going on. I've seen a mixture of all of these. So it, again, varies from company to company. Frequently what I see is that it's sort of a shared responsibility, so no one really does anything about it. And so opportunities that exist in pricing go sort of unexploited. And it's a lever that's left untouched, which is a mistake because it's extremely important for revenue growth, which as product marketers at tech companies, that's obviously extremely important. So that's not obviously what you want to do. So what matters to do pricing right? A lot of things. So first, again, alignment, customer insights, so that you're making these changes based on something. There's sort of a bag of tricks in pricing. There's different ways to do it. They're much less.
Ready to end this year on a high? Then join us and indulge in 3 days of product marketing innovation, all from the comfort of your home. We've got something right up your street. From December 8th through 10th, join the Product Marketing Alliance for Product Marketing Off-Piste, our upcoming virtual event featuring a host of innovative insights and unwrap the views of an ensemble of product marketing experts for what promises to be the hottest product marketing event this winter. With universally recognized companies such as Amazon, Uber, PayPal and IBM among the special guests making an appearance, Product Marketing Off-Piste is your opportunity to unravel tricks of the trade from true masters of the craft, whether you're B2B, B2C, physical or SaaS. Plus, if you're a PMA member, you can join the spectacle for nothing and enjoy extra exclusive content at our après-ski stage. Don't have a membership? Not to worry, simply head to innovate@productmarketingalliance.com to secure your spot. And if you want to treat yourself, then there's time to invest in a PMA membership and tap up the bonus material. Whatever your preference, cast conventional approaches aside, embrace innovation and end the year with aplomb with 40 plus speakers, 30 hours of content and diverse product marketing topics. It's all waiting for you at Product Marketing Off-Piste. See you on the slopes.
And so adding what am I used to what am I comfortable with doing a little bit of damage to as long as I'm optimizing for X. So for any change that you make is going to take time and cost the sales team some downtime and training. So are you looking to do no harm to that sales team, or are you looking to minimize harm in terms of productivity there? So you've got to kind of lay out what it is that you're sort of seeking and what are you willing to hurt, because there will always be trade-offs as you go through this process. You also need an executive mandate. Otherwise, people are going to say, like, what the heck is this pricing committee? What do you
if you happen to lose a customer, how you might win them back. So it's really looking at this cycle and understanding where people are falling out of this. And as a clear part of the software development lifecycle, whereas product marketing is
what activities you're doing, and those activities that you're doing across marketing should align with your goals. If you have a launch that is around user generation, then you should really be aligning a lot of your paid spend and a lot of your kind of broader marketing around user generation versus kind of paid lead generation. So based off what those goals are, if you have a product ops team or a revenue ops team or a marketing ops team, or maybe a business intelligence team or even a web strategy team, maybe get a meeting on the books with you and some of those folks to set up the appropriate tracking, the appropriate lead routing or user routing, and some of the reports to kind of
it's really looking at this cycle and understanding where people are falling off out of this.
So it works. So Yeah, I think took it out. I still can't remember it because I need to go to a bit about that allergic switch from the sources bits and give you any time to do it. I remember it.
I don't think we would need to crop this into.
How would you have it then?
Because we can put like ask your questions in this little bit in here. Because it's a presentation piece that's really important, that it be cropped. These bits, Q&A, it's not so important that we crop it,
So
because it is actually live.
okay, so in terms of so you wouldn't mind that people
No, not at all. Because it allows us to be really flexible with this movement. And we can, again, something that you can, or someone can control is, we can just like move people in and out. We can just like move their positions as they're speaking.
so you wouldn't mind that view then, for example,
We would probably go with this one.
and or this one. But I mean in terms of framing.
Oh, sorry, let me come over. Oops.
So, yeah, it's a better. So
Where's that line?
what's that? No, I just thought because it's not crop it. So
Oh, sorry, no, I meant we would want this bit here. Just that. I didn't realise that you were seeing this meeting, so.
no. So sometimes.
Yeah, that's all.
So this is on this side.
Yeah. I mean, I could. If it was easier, we could run it as a distribution channel through LinkedIn, so it didn't, through YouTube, so you didn't. But
Oh, that's not. I mean, it's okay, so you could have that.
yeah, that'd be perfect. Because it's just for the Q&A bit.
Okay, so we've got
So it'd be presentation, release there, and then we'll go straight into that. For Q&A.
so present. So you just play what's the video.
Or we give you the list of video or whatever. Yeah.
Do you know what you're going to be doing for the other videos? However, like, you're going to be like packaging through, you're doing like 3.5 blocks.
Yeah.
This one's the first one of the day, so we could do like one block just for this one. When it's finished, you switch to that, and then the next 3.5 hour block starts.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, we're doing 3.5 hour blocks. You can only do the maximum of
3.5 hours.
LinkedIn Live saying you can do 4 hours straight without break.
Yeah.
We wouldn't because that was 3.5 hours just in
Yeah.
case of
I don't know what you mean by 3.5 hour blocks with this though. So just to clarify, we're doing everything with one video. The only one thing that we're doing is a presentation. It's not 3.5 hours long. It's 30 minutes.
Okay.
Your Q&A is not going to last 3.5 hours.
No.
So I don't know why you mean that. We would have this 3.5 hours.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, because on one of these screens, it's just all the recorded video at the beginning, and then we turn it
More or
and then
less.
we switch out into this last screen.
what do you have? So
I was wondering whether we do this one separately. So this is the first 89 of the day, it's 30 minutes, then we go to that. Then we start the next 89 of the day, which is 3.5 hours.
No, because we don't know whether we can do more than one stream in a day.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing to test today.
I mean, in terms of what I would need to do, so that what would just be like all of the Q&A live stuff.
We're doing one, how many are we doing each day?
There's one on Thursday, one on Saturday.
And the Q&A live stuff, is that in the middle of the presentation or at the
At
end?
the end.
So the end of the end of the first presentation.
Oh, and then so
So they're recording the presentation experience with them.
That's cool. So I'll have like the video. I'll have the video also. I just have a video. That will be for the live thing, and then so we can play the video, and then when it gets to the Q&A, I can either cut directly to that, or I can have like a holding screen.
Yeah, I think it would cut straight to this. But then after the Q&A, it would be then the whole screen.
Okay, but just, do you know that sometimes there's like, so you get to the end of that presentation and just say that, would it match if they're not 100% ready? That's what I'm just thinking.
Well, because we'll have them on here already during their duration, they'll be ready.
All right, cool.
And they'll be pre-populated, so Max can intro the first questions, like great presentation, so what do you think? Have you got a run of events?
Yeah.
Because we'll need that to create those slides.
So this is, so just to show you what I can do in
Send me a link.
What should be my name? Just post. Okay.
So this is what's going on at the moment. And there's a bit of, delay between what I'm doing here. But when it's ready to go,
what do I mean by this? It's important to realize that if you're going to move very quickly, you need to be pivoting your product market fit, not building something entirely from scratch. So many of the initiatives which we launched were modifications of existing infrastructure that we already knew worked, that we already had in place. We spent a lot of time over those 2 years listening to our customers.
Ready to end this year on a high? Then join us and indulge in 3 days of product marketing innovation, all from the comfort of your home. We've got something right up your street. From December 8th through 10th, join the Product Marketing Alliance for Product Marketing Off-Piste, our upcoming virtual event featuring a host of innovative insights, and unwrap the views of an ensemble of product marketing experts for what promises to be the hottest product marketing event this winter, with universally recognized companies of the trade from true masters of the craft, whether you're B2B, B2C, physical or SaaS. Plus, if you're a PMA member, you can have a membership. Not to worry, simply head to innovate.productmarketingalliance.com to secure your spot. And if you want to treat yourself,
you can have a membership. Not to worry, simply head to innovate.productmarketingalliance.com to secure your spot. And if you want to treat yourself, you can have a membership. Not to worry, simply head to innovate.productmarketingalliance.com to secure your spot.
But yeah, I mean, that's how it works. It's because the phone is, you're hearing the phone through.
Oh, no, it's going through here.
Yeah, so it's going through white.
Should I mute that? Oh, no, it was just
Are you
muted.
recording this camera? Is it ahead of James?
You're on mute.
I think I was too.
I'll see if that is really bad. I'm not sure.
And what's the crowd doing on the work here? What's the crowd doing on the work here? Oh yeah, thank you very much for
No, you got the you mute it, but did you mute it there? Try that now. Oh, actually, yeah, Jess, you mute yourself on here, yeah? Cool, that should work then. Yeah. So, actually, yeah, Jess, you mute yourself on here, yeah? Cool, that should work. So, there is a delay, but how do they then speak? If we're controlling it, I guess we just mute ourselves. Not that.
We want to just make sure that it's in a different room. We can do speaking.
Yeah, Max will have to be out. I think it's fine. I think it's just nobody's like too much things on. Yeah. Okay. And that was just like so you get so much reference. Cool. All right. So this is straightforward then. So the only things that we need to know is like how are these videos coming inside this window? That's just fine. I was just I need the videos. I need to edit them in format. Oh, really? You'd have to have the window. You have to put the window around. You can't just layer the video inside that window. I mean, I could do that. I've wanted to get it all before. Oh, really? Well, I just sort of look at it. Well, no. I mean, do what you like. Do what you like. But I know. You know, I could do that. I could prop my keyboard and just have the background separate. Okay. So, do you want to create that now? That window. Yeah, background. Because in that case, then all we need to do is send a list of give you the do you need the hard files or can you just use the list of your links? I will download the list of your links. It's just because the internet. Yeah. It's just one instant. The internet locks up, can't stream it. Yeah, it's true, but you know, because it's probably traditional doing. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Makes sense. But yeah, I downloaded the video files and that you just pay them, and then I'm just paying them now, and so we get Max to create the files when it's on its own.
You've got sound.
So if that's the case, so just talk me through what you want on the screen there. So yeah, I mean, this is what we can create now, I guess. Yeah, it's product marketing alliance, product PMM or product marketing piece, and then it will be whatever Joe's wants down here.
It will be to watch on demand, get a membership, and also like at the speaker to ask a question or something like that.
Yeah. So write a copy and we can. Do you mind sending something like your copy?
Yeah. What do we normally say? So is this what the link to like normally say?
No, this is just this one. That's the last one, please. Yeah, so this one is festival. This is not what we from last year, so we don't normally put anything on it.
Because we might say like, say hello from where you from the chat and to ask you to speak a question or something like that. So I'll write it and send it to you.
Actually, it doesn't matter that stuff because we can actually just make that happen again.
What by using that thing? Just put to watch on demand then like get mentioned.
Yeah. And then yeah, you're absolutely right with that. So I can just play videos for stream on, they'll just have that background. Yeah. And that way and then just pop it, or stream it and just wait. So I think we probably want to maximize the size of this. So probably only one line of text. And then maybe just a small amount. You can have like a fun little banner saying and your comments. I'll ask a question on the left hand side. People may I can use more as background. Yeah, put them on. Okay.
I just got one question. You know when you use this switcher thing to like put different things on the screen, does LinkedIn Live see that as being within the same LinkedIn Live?
No, I mean the only thing they'll see is just the sample from there. It's just the output. So basically, I can window. You put what's in front of the window. If you, to be honest with you, now I've the iPad to into here. I actually don't want to use this. Yeah. Because I just thought it was a bit more copying and stuff. Already have something to queue up there. So if you know all that, then basically this is the line window. This is the that I can queue up at the next video. And I can pop that or I can resize it.
then
your competitors wind up in another quadrant, then it's very clear that you should kind of lean into maybe that key area, assuming that area is important to your buyers and important to the broader market as well. I think it's important to have one centralized positioning document that talks about what your product is, how it fits into the market, what the messaging will be on your website. I'm not going to dive deeply into how to do positioning in this session. I think there's a lot of great sessions on narrative design and positioning and how to really nail that and get that right throughout the product marketing festival. And so I'm not going to talk deeply about that. Contracts does this change existing functionality that they have? Is there a cross-sell or upsell opportunity? Is this an add-on that they can add to an existing product that they have? Do we need to notify the entire customer base? Is this a small segment of the customer base? Legally speaking, do we need to notify, our customers? And if so, does that need to be a transactional email versus kind of a standard marketing email? And all of those questions that I just kind of listed off. Are a subset of probably the questions that your customer marketing team will ask for you. If you prepare some of those foundational documents that I mentioned ahead of time, the campaign kickoff, the launch tiering, the positioning, you should have answers to a lot of those questions. Maybe not all, but you should have answers to a lot of those questions ahead of time, and you won't need to kind of scramble last minute to find answers to these. And you'll be better set up for success when you go to customer marketing and talk about the thing that you're launching or the new feature or product that you're launching. Now I want to talk about partner marketing as well as social and content marketing. Partner marketing is really an untapped resource, I think, for a lot of product marketers. I think frankly, we could dedicate an entire session just on this topic and how to do it really well. And if you work with other technology partners, other companies, or maybe some agencies like a PR agency or a web agency, consider how you can go to market together with them and what's in it for them. Is it lead sharing? Is it usage of both of your tools? Is it sales of both of your tools and packaging those together to some extent? And consider what the kind of story between those can look like. Because if you're going to market with especially a broader company like maybe Slack or something like that, then they have an incredibly broad reach, incredible customer base. And so think about ways that you can do kind of co-marketing right together. If you're going to market with other agencies, like service-driven agencies like PR or maybe website design or things like that, consider how you can go to market with them too, and how they can maybe write on your blog or consider things like that to to really get the word out about your launch as well. And for social and content marketing, I put a few questions here because I think it's important to focus in on your story and your narrative here, more so even than just your product. Now don't get me wrong, both are incredibly important, but you want to balance those, right? If you just share your product page out on Twitter, you're probably not going to get a ton of engagement from that, versus if you share more story-driven format through maybe audio or video or short headlines, things like that, you will naturally generate more engagement. You can certainly drive those folks back to maybe blog content or back to your product page, but just directly sharing your product page may not have the desired results. And so I think these 3 questions can help you identify how to work with those folks and how to align with your team on the social and content marketing team. And of course, it doesn't stop with just product or marketing. You need to align with sales as well as services and support. For sales, I think a lot of times product marketers wait until they have something relatively polished, or it feels like it's maybe perfect to some extent. I think that's actually that's waiting too long. I think what I would do is, if your company is at a size or scale where you have a sales enablement team, pull in a few of those folks, or pull in one of those folks early on in the process. Have them get a demo of the product, whether it's from the PM or yourself, and share with them where your positioning, where your messaging and narrative is at that point, because they can give feedback, right? They're maybe demoing the product day in and day out, and they can give you really great feedback and points to think about very early on. And then talk about different enablement resources that they will need to really find success in pitching this product, whether that's battle cards or pitch decks or whatever the case may be. Talk about various things that you can enable them with to ensure that they find success. I think just as important is enabling services and support. They are getting questions day in and day out from customers about, does your product do this? Or hey, I wanted to use your product in this way, and I'm not quite sure if I can do that. All of those various questions, your customer support and customer success team are really the front line for. And so if you bring them in early and effectively let them just ask a ton of questions of you, give them a little bit of context about what the new product is, and then just let them ask questions of you, and maybe the PM, have the PM with you as well. That can really uncover a lot of things that maybe you didn't think about in your narrative or your positioning or your launch plan, or maybe the product manager didn't think about as well from their side of things. So my recommendation is get all those questions on the table super early, think about them, and then create like an FAQ document based off everything that you've heard, not only in that meeting, but the meeting with sales and other meetings that you've had as well leading up to that point. And then publish that document internally, because it's likely that executives or others throughout the organization will have questions as well. And that can really help bring everybody on the same page. I would be remiss to have a session about quarterbacking a product launch without talking about how to communicate up. And whether you are a junior product marketer or a director of product marketing, or anywhere in between, communicating up is incredibly important to not only your career, but the success of your launch as well. And so a few tips that I just want to briefly cover here, which are review your positioning and messaging with key executives early. If you're at a size company, or just even if you're at a company where executives like being involved in the process, this will be incredibly important. At HubSpot, company I was just at, we went through a positioning process where the first, the product marketing team would kind of review it, and then the marketing executives would review it, and then even the founders of the company would review it. And that was a great thing to be totally candid, because we got really great feedback in each of those sessions where we really refined and honed our positioning and our narrative and our story. So if you're at a company where maybe the founders really like to be involved, then don't shy away from involving them. Get them involved early, because the earlier you get that feedback, the more you will mitigate last-minute changes to your launch plan and to your launch messaging, which can have a pretty wide downstream impact across a lot of various teams. And if your executive team is learns in different ways or likes seeing materials in different ways versus just maybe text on the slide, then consider like mocking that up in different ways. For example, at HubSpot, we really liked mocking up things in kind of a web page format because it visually brought it to life to a large extent, and it visually showed here's what this is going to really look like. So consider different ways that your executives want to receive those materials. You should send a weekly or maybe bi-weekly email this should go to the whole go-to-market team, as well as some of the executives who are really bought into this launch. That email should include a stoplight chart. In other words, what is done or for the launch, like what % of materials are done for the launch, what is in progress, what percentage of materials are in progress, and then what % of materials are maybe blocked or not yet started. So if you even just have those 3 buckets, that will bring a lot of transparency throughout the entire project. And if you're sending that to the entire go-to-market team, as well as the executives, that will go a long way to really helping you stay on track and clear out roadblocks as well. And as you get closer to the launch, we'll talk about this in a slide in a few minutes, but as you get closer to the launch, you should be having regular and recurring kind of go-to-market team meetings that you should naturally pull executives into as well. All right, so we've talked about the foundational materials on kind of one hand. We've talked about aligning with teams, which is kind of the second piece of that. And now, as the quarterback of this launch, how are you going to execute that strategy? Let's talk about a few key ways of doing that. The first is when you kick off the go-to-market effort, you should get the entire go-to-market team in one meeting that you, as the product marketer, lead. And by the way, just to be clear, when I say go-to-market team, what I'm really referring to is the people that you should kind of have in this meeting are obviously yourself. You should be leading the meeting. You should have the product manager in that meeting, or if this feature or product rollout encompasses multiple PMs, then pull them all in to that. I mean, you don't necessarily want a team of 10 PMs in that meeting, and so if it's that large, then maybe define a few people who can kind of speak for the group. But